Hey, we are back at it with part 2 of SojuTalk episode 95, where we get our weekly dose of hot takes, discuss recent K-pop news and events, and give you the state of the nation. So this first part is hot take with Harold, if you guys didn't know yet. Harold is on his way. He's gonna deliver his hot take. Oh, there's a guy right there. How you doing, man?
Is the summer hot? A little bit. Is Doug hot? No. Am I hot? Hell yeah. All right, so the weekly hot... Well, I was going to say something, and then I realized I already said it 3 weeks ago, so I had like audible there. But the weekly hot take is a group's name can hold back their success. Boom. Yo, Warren, you look like Hey Arnold with that hat on your head. Bye.
I actually don't know what Hey Arnold is.
All right, well, never mind. The weekly hot take is a group's name can hold back their success.
A group's name can hold back their success. I mean, let's talk about groups' names to begin with, right?
I think the majority of K-pop group names are bad.
Yeah, thanks.
Straight up. So many names are so, like... I think that we grow to accept the names because of, like... You know how you get used to things, right?
Yeah.
If my name was, like, Fart Face McGee... Eventually, you might be like, all right, well, that's just your name. We're just going to deal with it, right?
Yeah.
But at the beginning, you're like, what the hell is this? My favorite group is IZ*ONE. That is straight up a bad name. let's be sure. Is Rocket Punch any better? It's a little bit better, actually.
No, it's a horrible name. Let's be honest.
What about Very Very, Anita?
That
was the best out of the three, I think. Can a group's name hold back their success? I thought about this for a while. I think it could hold back their success a little bit, but I think that there are so many other things at play that deal with success that the group's name honestly isn't that big of a factor at the end of the day.
I think for me, coming from someone that was not very familiar with K-pop back in the day, like 10 years ago almost, and seeing these names, like if I was someone that was not familiar with the genre and then I just saw these group names, it does feel a little confusing because first of all, you're not really used to like big boy groups, girl groups in the West or in the US. And seeing these names, it kind of makes you wonder like, what is it? Like, what is going on? Like, what does it represent? Because a lot of them are acronyms. There's been like a resurgence of acronyms for a lot of groups. Like there's meanings behind the letters.
Oh my God.
And it does make it a little confusing. But like you say, the more you listen to the groups and the more involved you are in the K-pop music industry and listening to the music in general, you just get used to it, I guess, because it doesn't seem that odd to me anymore. But in the beginning, it was.
Okay. I think like some names just don't make sense, right? 17 does not have 17 kids, right?
No.
I never understood that. Where does 17 come from?
It was.
If
I remember correctly, it had to do with the number. So there's the number of individual people in the group, right? Which is 13. And then the number of units, which is 3. So we're up to 16. And then they make up one team, which is the 1. And then that adds up to 17.
So it's 13 plus 3 plus 1.
Yes.
They could have just called it 13.
Okay, let's talk about groups that have to do with numbers, right?
There's a lot.
A6, Gugudan, 9 Muses, AB6, SF9, 21, all the type of things. Some of these groups, some of them don't have the amount of kids as their number, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Some of them used to, but once you lose people, now you don't, like, what's your name? Like,
Big
Gugudan
yikes.
don't got 9 anymore. AB6, we down to 4, right? I think Day 6 now has 5 guys, right?
Right.
I think Hold up. I think AB6 began with 5 people though.
They
I don't
did.
think
Yeah, that's the thing. They started with 5, now they're at 4, but they're called AB6. Explain that. I bet you there's meaning to all these things, right? But
There usually is. Yeah.
There usually is.
Let's talk about some names, right? BTS. I like BTS as an acronym is a great thing, right? I think it sounds cool, rolls off the tongue. BTS, cool. 방탄소년단, right? 소년단. It translates essentially to like bulletproof Boy Scout troop, right? Essentially.
Boy Scouts, yeah.
Yeah.
That's horrendous. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, it's when I remember first hearing the name, like back in like 2012 or something. I was like, did isn't it a company coming up with these names? Like, I was so confused.
Let's
Like BTS. So yeah, sorry, go on.
BTS is kind of weird. TXT sounds cool, right? But Tomorrow by Together, I don't know what that means still, right?
Okay, no, I have a huge problem with TXT's name because TXT means text. It means text file, like it's the file like extension.
Yeah.
There's already a lot of things that are TXT.
Bro. Weekly. why is
that extra
there
E?
3 E's? I don't get it. Obviously we're saying this all in jest, right? Because we like a lot of these groups.
Yeah.
Donkeys, that sounds like donkeys. Gravity sounds like you got a cavity. Super M had that whole thing where it kind of looked like.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna be a little not safe for word. It looked like sperm for a while. Some people still call them that. We had Uju Sonyo. I like that name. I think Cosmic Girls also sounds cool. Then we got Gongwon Sonyo, Girls in the Park. I don't know what that means.
Well, no, the direct translation is just Park Girls.
Park Girls.
Park Girls. This is even worse.
I don't know what is an ATEEZ, a Mamamoo. There's one group. I think that the boys suffer because of their name.
Oh.
I think something about the name The Boys sounds very like young and not like, you know what I mean? Like it sounds like it's The Boys
for the long run.
I feel like they suffer a little because The Boys sounds a little too normal, and like we have a whole ocean of like funky names, and like what is your group name? The Boys. No, what is the group name? The Boys.
But you gotta think when let's say in like, I don't know, whatever years, they're like all like the average age is like 28 in this group, right? And then they're like, "Hey, we're the boys." Like, you know, the optics just so great. Another one, I don't know what Cube was thinking with G-idol, idol, 여자 idol. I don't know what that was. To be honest,
that. Yeah,
I still don't get it.
About Beast with a 2 instead of an EA though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's talk about some group names we do like, right? I think at the start, Red Velvet, because they were doing Red comebacks and Velvet comebacks. I thought that was great. One of the names that I think is tremendous is Dreamcatcher. I think that fits what they're doing. Something about that sounds like mysterious, dark, nighttime. Yeah. They do this rock theme. It completely makes sense to me. I like Astro. I think that's a cool name. I don't know. Something about that's cool.
I really think Nine Muses was a really good name.
For them, it made complete sense.
Yeah, it's like 9 people, kind of, and they're muses. 9 muses. And it's like, it rolls off the tongue.
Do you like Luna? Something about that name's cool. Ida de Sonyo, which is Girl of the Month. That's I don't think I like that one as much.
Just a heads up, nobody in Korea called it Luna.
No, they all call them Ida de Sonyo, right?
Yeah, everyone says Ida de Sonyo or like Idarso, which is like for short. And like... Because Luna is like, it's when you write it down, it sounds like a person's name, like FX Luna, and like.
That's true.
At that point, it's like, why did you? What are you going for? What is it? I guess it's supposed to be lunar. That's what
like
they're
the
going
moon,
on?
yeah.
Yeah, that's essentially what they were going for.
Okay.
But before we talk about some more names, are we kind of in agreement that like it may hinder success a tiny bit, but like people are willing to overlook these names, right?
Well, I want to kind of think about it from a different perspective though, because I do think it hinders success.
Really?
Yeah.
To what extent though?
That is like completely subjective. Here's the thing, right? Let's say we spent 8 years as a trainee. You know, we put in this effort, our blood and our sweat and our tears.
Okay.
To our debut, you know, we worked so hard. You know, 1 month before the debut is going live, our CEO puts us in a little room and like sits us all down. He's like, "All right, guys, you guys did it. You guys are gonna all debut. It's we're gonna make lots of money. You guys are gonna be super successful and super popular." And he reveals the group name, and it is it's just poo poo ass. This is just bad name.
Bad name.
He gives you a bad name. Imagine how underwhelmed you would be and like super unexcited. You're beginning your career with a horrible attitude. Think about it that way. Think about the bias that influences the rest of your
Yeah,
activity.
but I think like it's rare that names are like horrific. I
That
think a
bad,
lot-
yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that most
Haven't
of
you
these
heard?
names-
No. People have cried because like their names are so bad.
Really?
I can't think of any like specific names, but like examples. But like people have cried. I remember this. Like,
Interesting. I did not know.
My opinion is like my opinion is at first you might be like, what the hell is this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think over time you're like, well, it is what it is, right? Like, this is our name.
Mm-hmm.
We better rock it.
I think more than anything, I don't think it hinders success significantly where you would say, oh, it's definitely because of the name. Like that's what's holding them back. I wouldn't say it's to that extent, but I do feel like it, like I mentioned before, it does limit accessibility for newcomers.
General
'cause-
people, yeah, newcomers
yes,
for sure.
for the general audience, it might be like, what? Well, why is it this name? I don't get it. It's kind of confusing, or they don't really see the appeal of it, and they just avoid it, or maybe they don't bother to really figure it out. Because I think maybe like pronunciation might be something for people that are not Korean, or reading it, or like different iterations of the name might get confusing. So I think it's
no, it's a name made of alphabet letters. Koreans aren't gonna be able to read it either properly.
Yeah, but I feel like, for example, I think back in the day when I was learning about K-pop and Girls' Generation came up, I feel like there were certain like iterations of the name that were like, oh, SNSD, and then Girls' Generation, and then the actual Korean, and then for people that are not into it or just scratching the surface of the group, they might get lost. They might not invest the effort to figure out who these people are. So I think accessibility is a thing, but I don't think it makes or breaks the group.
I agree.
I mean, if you talk about Girls' Generation, I don't think they weren't really targeting the Western like audience.
Right,
at that
yeah,
point.
yeah.
I still think though that Sonushide, aka Girls' Generation, aka SNSD, I think that's one of the best names ever.
It is. It's great.
Yeah, they have a good name.
Yeah, it was an
Tremendous
homage.
name.
It was like a perfect mirror of what they were, and like it was appropriate for the Japanese and the Chinese market. Like
Also, like Dongbangshinggi, DBSK, like God's rising out of the east or something is essentially what it translates to. Something
Yes,
like that, right?
kind of, yeah.
Kind of like that.
Yeah, Dongbang Shin. Yeah.
That's a cool name too, I think. Anita, do you like the name Shiny?
I do, but I will admit that the spelling of it was a little interesting.
SHINEE. Yeah.
the EE, and sometimes it's romanized interesting where like the E's are lowercase and the rest is uppercase. So it's an interesting.
Shin E.
Yeah, and then yeah. There's a lot of people that when they first hear about the group pronounce it in a certain way because of how it was romanized, capitalized. So it does create some confusion, but I don't know. I think I grew used to the name. I did find it a little odd because it's a word in English, but it's just spelled differently. And to describe the group as shiny, it was interesting as well because it's like a description of the group, but how does it pertain to the group? I'm not sure.
It's not that great because like think about it. What if I came to like, bro, I'm shiny, fam? Like you'd be like, what's wrong with you, right? Like that just feels kind of weird.
It's interesting.
I feel like with the older groups, there was this whole thing with groups using the like B as the first one. There was B1A4, Block B, Beast,
Yeah.
BAP, BTS. Everyone was B for a while, and it was so confusing because at the time they were all sort of like mid-tier, high mid-tier, something like that. It was just so confusing to me to figure out which group was which.
There was a whole like running meme in the community that like everyone was like wanted to be successful as like Big Bang. So like people
Yeah.
are like, take the B. I want to be the B. The next big B. The boy group B. Big Bang B.
Yeah, it's just like some names just don't like, especially like would I don't know why Play-M would choose weekly with 3 E's because your search engine optimization is gonna be horrific for a long time, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why you would just do that to yourself, to be honest.
I also have like one like big qualm with like the recent names, and like
Okay.
I didn't think it was that frequent, but like now that I'm seeing the list of names you put up on our script, it's like a lot more noticeable. Like I'm thinking about IZ*ONE and then G Idol and then Super M. Put a space in your name. It's way easier to
Spacing.
read if there's a space. Like Imagine if there was super and then space and then M. Super M. Way easier. Nobody's gonna read it as superm. Like,
Can I talk about a qualm I have? So
yeah.
Another one?
I think I've said this in the past. IZ*ONE, right?
Yeah.
For some reason, the fan club name is. Let's not go into fan club names because some of them are horrendous too.
You're a whiz one.
I'm a whiz one.
You're a whiz
If you-
one.
Our online series is called Energy, which is IZ*ONE spelled backwards, ENOZI. Doesn't it make sense if the fan club name was Energy? Were there Energy?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know why they chose Wiz*ONE. Well, what is that? What is that?
Isn't it supposed to be like we are like with IZ*ONE, therefore?
No, it has to do with wizards. It literally
For
does.
real?
I'm
Wow.
pretty sure.
I'm looking this up real quick.
I'm
I mean,
almost
do you
sure.
want to be a catchy, Douglas?
Yeah. Okay.
Do you want
I
a
don't know.
bottle of ketchup? Like, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Do you like rocket punch, right? What is that? Explain.
that?
Or like what's a cherry bullet?
I don't think
it's a
that bad.
gun full of cherries. Just shoots cherries.
I don't know. It's just like at the end of the day, honestly, it's like it's kind of good to have a weird name, right?
You stand out in a way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. It's supposed to mean magician. Supposed to mean a very talented person. You are wizards
Wow,
who support
you're a wizard.
the magical future of IZ*ONE.
Wow.
I mean, my favorite person in K-pop's name is IU. So what am like you know what am I talking about? Stage names get weird too, right? Like,
I was so confused with that name in the beginning. How do I spell
You know,
IU?
talking about group names, I guess we've kind of come to the conclusion like yes, they might be a little bit cringy. Yes, they might like make it hard for the general public to get into a certain group. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things that you'll eventually just get used to.
Yeah.
Personally, that's how I feel about it.
I want to reinstate that it should be a good motivator for the members. Like, it could be a big turnoff for the people involved. Like, imagine you wake up every day and I'm a proud member of Poo Poo Ass Ass. You know, like,
What? Why? What is up with you and that name?
I don't know. I can't think of any bad names. Like, well, I can, but like, I don't want to name them. Like,
I mean, I hope.
I mean,
at
there's a
some
girl
point-
group named Lusty. I don't know what that is.
Huh.
There's a
Alright.
girl group named Lusty. I don't know
I
who
wish
made that
they
decision.
had some input. Like the artists had some input. Like between these two, which one do you prefer more?
the thing is, I think
I
G
don't know.
Idol was like Soyeon's idea.
Ah.
Let me look it up real quick.
I do
Man,
wonder
you're
who
just
comes up
making
with
these
them.
random claims now. That you.
I think I read it somewhere. Like,
I don't know. It just the leader. No, she wrote it. Yeah, it's she made the name. I'm looking at it right now.
yeah, you know.
I feel like if there's input from the artist, then okay, that's some
I
creative
feel like,
liberty
no.
they have.
Average groups have like what, like 6-7 kids at least now these days. I feel
Yeah.
like you get the kids, you get the producer, you get some of the people at the company. We got like 15 people in the room. I bet you could think of a half decent name, right? Like,
Yeah.
come on. At the end of the day, though, it's like most names initially are gonna sound kind of weird, though. Like, Itzy's a weird name. I kind of like it now, though.
I mean, if you think about it, like, think of the word door. 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 Isn't it a weird sounding word and like weird spelling? Like,
The Doors. Yeah.
door. Like DOOR. Just like, isn't it just.
we know
isn't
how
it
to
a-
spell door, dude. Like,
No, it's just like, I'm saying, like, if you think about anything hard enough, every word is very weird. Like,
oh, bro, don't you have that thing where you're looking at like a certain word and you're like, is that spelled right? And
I
then
know,
you
like, that's what
realize
I'm talking about. Like,
that's how it's been spelled your entire life, and you're just like, I guess that's how it is.
like
Hello?
Hello.
hello?
Oh, no one bounced off of me there.
But yeah, I mean, I do think eventually most people get used to it and they just move on. But like, I will never forget that, like, my favorite girl group's name is Rocket Punch of all things. Like,
Yeah, that it just doesn't make sense to me, that one.
I know, it's just what
All right.
what are you guys going for?
Let
It's
us know in the
endearing, though.
comments section down below what names you like and what names you think are ridiculous. That's something I want to see.
Yeah, but be nice.
Yes.
I
Respectful.
mean, it's respectful. We can like joke about names. It has nothing to do with the group itself. The name is just a
Yeah.
representation of the group. But let's move on to news and events from last week. So there wasn't very much actual news, but the big thing that happened was that Gaon, I'm saying it right now, Gaon chart.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
They released their June chart, earlier this week,
Oh.
so we now have a better picture of which albums sold the most copies during the first half of 2020. So they release a monthly chart, and the Gaon chart is the chart that pretty much shows how many albums were sold to stores. So that's actually what matters, right? So let's go through the top 20 albums in the first half of 2020. So these are just sales from January through June. Number 1, BTS's Map of the Soul 7, 4.265 million copies.
Whew.
Number 2, 17's Hengare. It sold 1.207 million. Baekhyun's Delight, 971,000. Fourth place, NCT 127 was the NCT hashtag 127 Neozone, which sold 784,000. Fifth place, NCT Dream Reload, 604,000. Sixth place, Twice More and More, 563,000. Eyes One's Oneric Diary came in seventh with a 511,000. Eighth place, NCT 127. NTC, oh god, so many words. NCT hashtag 127 Neozone the final round,
Your package.
469,000. Ninth place, Eyes One Bloom Eyes, 459,000. And 10th place, Got7's Die. It's not D-I-E, it's D-Y-E. They sold 444,000 albums. So that's the top 10.
Wow.
Oh man.
What surprises me on here is NCT 3 spots, right? Between
Yeah.
127 and Dream.
Yeah.
Twice 2 spots. I mean, not twice. Eyes One 2 spots.
Yes.
Yes.
Yo, Eyes One,
Interesting.
we're doing really well this year.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the Oneric Diary sold more than Bloomin', to be frank.
Why do you say that?
Because like Bloomin' had like all this drama behind it, and like
Oh, the
people were really
first-
anticipating
yeah.
it. You know, like
I think it's a combination. I'm a little bit surprised, but I'm not too surprised because I think they've translated the success off of the first album into the second album. And the natural progression is to go up, right?
I guess yeah. What really is surprising to me is Baekhyun.
Yeah.
Cause okay, look at it. BTS group, 17 group, NCT 127 group, just all groups. Baekhyun out here doing a solo thing, and he's ranked
Yeah.
number 3.
Just a side thing. Yeah.
My guy.
And now-
XOL,
then,
great man. Y'all.
And
y'all
Gaon
going hard.
also releases weekly charts. So with the weekly stuff, he's over 1 million now with that album
Wow.
as well. Because as we mentioned a couple weeks ago, he's now 1 million seller.
So yeah, if Baekhyun overtakes 17, like man, that's crazy. Like
He's not going to though. I don't think so.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, come on, like, I'm just saying, like, a soloist to get to that level, like, when you're in comparison with the groups all around you, that kind of says something, wouldn't you say?
And
like,
he's a solo artist who wasn't originally a solo artist. That's another thing to mention,
Right.
right? Like
Right,
he's
The
from a
power,
group.
though. The
So
power
much power.
behind the fandom.
man.
All right, the next 5 albums all sold between 275,000 and 243,000, and they are 11th place TXT's The Dream Chapter Eternity, 12th place Suho Self Portrait, 13th place Kang Daniel Cyan, 14th place Monsta X's Fantasia X, 15th place Stray Kids Go. So those are the 11 through 15 places, and again they all sold between 275,000 and 243,000. Couple things. Obviously Suho, Kang Daniel being here, more solo artists, right?
Right.
Yeah.
TXT, second year, 11th place.
Not bad.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, right?
It's crazy. They're supposed to be rookies at this point, and, like, they're going to catch up to
The other
everybody
thing
else.
that's interesting to me is that Stray Kids Go and Monsta X's Fantasia X have similar numbers, right? I think it shows how well Stray Kids is doing as of late.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm gonna have to look this up to see how well the previous Monsta X albums sold, right? Because I'm not completely sure if this is typical for them, these numbers.
The thing is, like, Stray Kids Go it dropped, like, relatively recently. Right?
Yeah, it's pretty recent.
It's
One
gonna
of the
keep
most
going
recent.
Up. Yeah, it's gonna keep
Yeah.
going up. I wouldn't be surprised if they do a repackage at some point and like they,
yeah.
they pull in more money through there. Like, damn, Mr. GIP. Well, whatever you mean. I mean, like,
Yeah, I'm looking at Monster X numbers. This is their all-time high, 257,000.
Wow.
So
Good for them though.
their
for them
albums
too.
generally have sold around 250,000. A lot of them are very near that. So it's about where they're selling. So all right, so the last 5 in the top 20 in 16th place is it's Newest the Nocturne, which sold 196,000. So it dropped off because Stray Kids was at 243. Newest is 196, so it dropped off significantly. 17th place, AT's Treasure Epilogue Action to Answer, 166,000. 18th place is Super Junior KRY, When We Were Us, 152,000. 9th place, I can't speak today. 19th place, G Idol I Trust, 151,000. And in 20th place, Rookies Gravity.
Gravity.
Hideout Remember Who We Are, 147,000 copies.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
I'm actually really surprised by seeing them in the top 20.
Gravity with
Wait,
a top 20
yeah.
album so far.
They're about
Shocking.
they're about like 60% of what TXT sold. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Knowing that, like, because the amount of investment that goes into TXT and it goes into Gravity it's got to be wildly different, you know?
It's crazy to me that ATEEZ and Gravity are separated by 19,000 albums.
Gravity, less than a year? Definitely less than a year.
No, Gravity's like
Months?
2-3 months, I believe, at this point. That's nuts, right?
Where did all their fans come from?
I mean, I know they had the X1 produce success,
Yeah.
but at the same time, right? They debuted in April, right?
Yeah, they're doing good.
They're doing so well. And I know we said this is the top 20, but overall there were 29 albums that sold over 100,000. So I'll just go
Wow.
through them. We have ITZY's It's Me, Super Junior, Timeless, SF9's First Collection, Winners Remember, Kim Woo-suk's solo album with First Desire Greed, Changmin's Chocolate, Kim Jae-jung with AO, The Boys Reveal, Uju Sonyo, Neverland. So those
Uju
are
Sonyo.
Yep, those are all the albums that sold over 100,000 so far.
Sorry, real quick. I wanted to talk about Newest real quick, because, like, wasn't Newest at one point, like, they literally couldn't sell albums?
Yeah, so this was pre-going on Produce.
Right, pre-produced. They were literally unable to sell albums.
They were, I heard, close to being disbanded before
Yeah.
they went on Produce.
I mean, I
They
guess
completely turned it around.
I guess Produce helped them, but, like, it's just wild to me that, like, they.
The effect.
I know it's crazy. Shout out to the Newest fans.
Yeah, and obviously comparisons. It's not like we're saying one group's better, one group's worse, but they're selling about 1/6 of the amount of 17, which I think is more a testament to how crazy this 17's popularity is,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
and I think it's objective now. 17's the second biggest act in K-pop
Of course.
for sure, right?
Look at those
Yeah,
numbers. Yeah.
by numbers.
I mean,
Based on sales, right? Based
How
on
can you
sales.
argue?
Well, I honestly think right now you would say obviously clearly BTS is number 1, right? By far.
please.
Number 2, 17 by far. I think once you reach like number 3, then you get some debate, right? Is it NCT? You can make an argument for Twice being a humongous act. You can make a based on sales alone. IZ*ONE sells so many albums too these days, right? But I would probably say it's NCT and specifically 127. Right? I don't think that's
Yeah.
too crazy.
I mean, if we're excluding solo acts, like, numbers can't lie, man. Like, if we're just talking about sales.
Yep. All right. So do we have any overall feelings? Because I can't compare this to last year because I don't have the numbers, but so many people are selling so many albums this year. This is the year. I thought it was going to be the year of concerts. It's the year of album sales. That's the main thing that has increased this year so far.
I guess fans don't have anywhere else to spend money right now because they can't go to concerts. So, like, they're spending money
That's
on
true.
buying albums instead. Like,
Yeah, it's like it's nuts overall to me because
Yeah.
if we look at I think the top 10, I'm not gonna add it up right now, but I believe it's over 10 million just in the top 10. Yeah, because
Jesus.
you add BTS and 17 together, right? And you're at, let's see, like 5.4 million albums, right? Baekhyun's another million. IZ*ONE's another million in there. NCT's another million. Yeah, it's about 10 million out of the top 10 albums.
Whew.
So many albums. Absolutely bananas. But, you know, I'm also really proud of Uju Sonyo.
I was about to say.
Warren, talk about how proud you are.
I mean, like they used to be like the top of seats here. They were never leaving at that point, and like I was like, you know what? Like, I was always like they will be popular in my heart, and now they've sold over 100,000. That's crazy. Like, they made it from the bottom to the top. Well, not the top, but like 29th to the top. Like, it's pretty close enough, you know. Like,
And obviously, you have to consider that some groups didn't come back yet. Like Blackpink, we don't have a physical album, right? Red Velvet, up until this point, with the Irene Seoggi release of Monster, didn't sell any albums in. Well, they didn't have any releases in 2020, is what I'm trying to say. So obviously, this list is just things that came out in 2020, right? So
yes.
by the end of the year, this is gonna look completely different. But let's move on to the next thing. So with these numbers, right? With the first half sales numbers, we can also look at which agencies sold the most albums during the first half of 2020. So keep in mind that these are just going to be sales from albums that were released in 2020. So just 2020 products. So you're not going to include like the residual sales from like BTS albums that were dropped in 2019. This is just 2020 releases. So in first place, Big Hit, 4.5 million albums. Second place, SM, 3.8 million albums. Third place, JYP, 1.4 million. Fourth place, Pledis, 1.4 million. Fifth place, IZ*ONE, well, not IZ*ONE, Off the Record, which is essentially just IZ*ONE, 1 million albums. Sixth place, Starship, Big Fall Off, 505,000. Seventh place, RBW, 264,000. Eighth place, Cube, 272,000. Ninth place, Connect, which is just Kang Daniel, 266,000. And in 10th place, YG, 211,000 albums.
It's a little weird to see YG at the bottom.
Yeah. And Connect above him.
If we
So
look at
like-
YG, it's just Winner, Icon, and Just Kiss, right?
Right.
The big monkey in the room, obviously, is that there's no Blackpink album so far, right?
Not yet.
yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet. Once it drops, I'm sure they'll shoot up to the ranks and like probably get to like number 5 or 4 at least. But like,
But for a company that's considered the traditional big three to, in the first half of the year, only be in 10th place with 211,000, it's not a great look.
it's
right?
not a great like nah. Especially when you consider like right above it is Connect, which is just one guy doing his one thing.
One thing I want to point out is, obviously, Big Hit selling the most, BTS, right? Out of the 4.5 million, BTS is accounting for 4.2, with TXT accounting for 275,000. That's nuts, how many albums they can sell. The thing I want to point out is that I know we like to compare the relative size of SM and JYP, right?
Yeah.
But SM, even without a Red Velvet album on here, sold more than double the amount of albums that JYP did.
That's true.
Right? And JYP, it's not like any big artist is missing. Every one of their big artists had a
Twice,
release.
Stray Kids, got seven. Yeah.
So, yeah, I never really compared SM with JYP. I always considered SM to be a much more like fandom based company compared to JYP, you know, like
Yeah.
because JYP, of course they're making lots of money, but like they are less of a fandom based profit model. They're like super friendly with the general public. That's where their money comes in.
Popularity.
Yeah, you got to think of it this way. This is popular music here. You know, like fandom sales. That's of course that's one thing, but like JYP, even though their sales are like less than half of what SM is doing, they're hustling elsewhere too. You know, they
Their
gotta think about
brand.
that. That being said, SM's profit model with like big hardcore fandom and like people who are willing to support a single act to get like on third place, dude. That's also like flipping crazy. Like, man, like.
Yeah, and as much as we say that we feel like NCT isn't fully there yet, quote unquote, right?
They might be, honestly.
They sold 2.1 million albums across
By
the
numbers.
subunits.
I know,
right?
yeah.
Like, come on, like.
I guess we're like hella biased when we're saying that like they're like not.
I guess we just feel musically they might not be there. I guess that's the crux of our argument.
I think it might come in terms as the same thing that Warren said about JYP's model, how certain groups from JYP are very popular with the general public, but not necessarily reflecting it completely in album sales. Whereas SM might not be like general public popularity as JYP artists, but album sales are like pretty much at the top.
I honestly think it's really interesting to see RBW in 7th place, considering Mamamoo hasn't had a traditional comeback so far.
That's true.
All we have is Solar,
Solos.
Moonbyul, Hwasa, solo stuff, and this was before the Hwasa album released, right? So she only accounts for 47,000 in June, because obviously her song released a couple weeks ago. Was it last week? Maria?
I think it was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. So obviously that sales number is a lot higher now, I would assume. But they don't have a traditional Mamamoo comeback, but still, RBW 7th place. We got the 3 Mamamoo girls, and we got one us and one we. That's a good look for them. I think Starship, now that Uju Sonyo's popping off, Gravity's doing well, Monsta X, fairly consistent, right? All of their artists over 100,000 copies. That's a great look for them.
Good.
Additionally, once we have the One Young Yujin group, which will eventually happen, they're in a really good spot, Starship, for the future, I think.
Top
Yeah.
5? Mm-hmm.
I used to say this every now and then, but like, I besides the big 4 at this point, just besides the big 4,
Starship's
they're
clearly
in-
number 5, I think.
Yeah, they're in the best spot, like, because they're like well stabilized. You know, it's all about stability. You know, like they didn't put all their eggs in one bag. Sorry, one basket. They got like 5 baskets, and it's all full of eggs.
Yeah, it just seems like I would say with Starship, a lot of the group's popularity, they're like fairly at the same level. Like I know, obviously comparing Monsta X and Gravity is like it doesn't make sense at this point, but it's just the consistency is what I'm really trying to get at with Starship
Right.
is always there with Starship products. You know, Cube, right? 272,000 in 8th place. The majority of it is from G Idol. More than half.
Yeah.
Well, more than half of it because they have 151,000. Then we got Pentagon at 62,000. I think that's a bit of a shame because the relative skill level to how many albums they sell is just not there for Pentagon.
Hopefully with
Kingdom,
Road to Kingdom. Yeah, they'll have a push
right?
in the later half.
If we look at the top 5 companies, right? Big Hit, SM, JYP, Pledis, that all makes sense. If we were going on history, you would expect the next group the next agency to be in that top 5 to be YG, right? But obviously Blackpink hasn't come back yet.
Yeah.
Off the record, 5th place. Let's talk about this, right?
All Eyes One.
Eyes One.
Isn't Fromis also under Off the Record?
Yeah, but they
Okay,
don't have
they
a
are.
2020 release.
They haven't.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know why. They're in the dungeon right now. It's a bit of a bad situation.
They're not in the dungeon, I would say. They're getting a lot of content.
It's really the as a Wiz One, it's really unfortunate the economic model of Eyes One, right? Where CJ takes 50% off the top, and then the remaining 50% or whatever percentage it actually is, they divide 12 ways. Did you know that they don't even divide it? I know in 101 they didn't even divide it they didn't even divide that equally.
Huh?
They divided it by the number of agencies.
What?
So if you had 2 kids, you got paid less money per kid.
Oh, that sucks.
No.
I'm pretty sure that was what happened with 101.
Wait, that's actually really bad. Why would you do that? What the heck?
Is
So
that
someone
right?
like Kim Jae-hwan,
That
who was an
allowed?
independent guy, took the most money.
Well,
Right.
Because
Yeah.
he was independent. He got the money directly deposited, I heard.
Wait, yeah, that doesn't
Wow.
make sense. You have more assets involved. It's a higher investment. You should get a higher return.
Yeah, so like Brand New Music got shafted because they had 2 kids.
Wait, why is that? Why? That is a stupid contract, and like this is just CJ
I don't know
flexing.
if that's how it is with Eyes One, but like the reason why Eyes One probably won't exist past their contract date is because of how little money the companies end up with because CJ takes so much off the top.
Yeah.
But what if the Eyes One members and companies disbanded officially, but they all 12 of them decide to make a new group with a different name?
I personally don't think that's gonna happen because companies are selfish and they think that their product will be better, right?
Yeah, I mean,
It's the truth. But I'm down for an Eyes One Light with some of the kids or a unit, especially with some of the members who they don't know what to do. Like a Jo Yuri, right?
Yeah.
She didn't make it into From Us 9. She's at Stone. They don't got anything else going really. What are they gonna do with her?
Solo?
Yeah, but overall the top 10, I think it's the usual players. Shout out to Kang Daniel and Connect though, right? Ninth place by yourself.
Pulling through.
Everyone else on this list kind of makes sense to me though, right? And for the record, I believe that FNC is 11th place. I don't know how many albums they sold, but I'm pretty sure they're 11th on this list. So all the big players are at the top.
2021. Let's get Willem on here.
Okay, sir. All right, let's go over some quick takes. The first one, SM Entertainment have confirmed that Taemin suffered a fracture near his right wrist while practicing for his comeback.
Oh no.
He will focus on recovering for his comeback, but at the time being, the comeback will be pushed back. So we don't know when it's going to happen, but he is going to be focusing on recovery.
Hope he feels better soon.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Additionally, SM will be opening an SM Town store in Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, by September. The location will include an SM Town store and an SM Town cafe.
Oh man. My
Yo,
lucky
so
Viet people.
If you are Viet fans, you listening to this, you in Vietnam, head over to that SM store and get yourself some goods. I went to the store/cafe at COEX when it was still there. It was really cool. Go check it out.
Yes, it is.
So next one. Eyes One with Bloom Eyes and Oneric Diary have become the 5th million seller of 2020, as we've referenced before. They are the 5th million seller of the year, obviously, following BTS, NCT 127, 17, and Baekhyun.
Oh,
so first
wait.
girl group
Yeah.
to get a million albums sold in 2020.
crazy.
Shout out to them. Additionally, as we previously mentioned, Uju Sonyo's Neverland sold over 100,000 copies and is now the group's best-selling album on Gaon.
Nice.
Butterfly's a great song.
Here's a bit of an oof. This October, Mnet will begin airing a new audition program entitled Cap Teen. It's sort of like Captain.
Captain?
Yeah.
What is this name?
Which will showcase the talents of teenage contestants, both individual acts and already formed groups. The winning act of Cap Teen will be granted the special opportunity to work with star producers and choreographers, and the show is said to be similar to High School Rapper.
Oh, so people not really associated with the music industry,
I
like
would
regular
assume so.
people.
Like a little bit of underground people.
So this is
Yeah.
like High School Rapper, but with like K-pop
Idols.
people.
Not rapping.
And I don't know how I feel about this.
I'm just kind of sick of Mnet competition shows. I know, Warren, you liked Good Girl, though.
Yeah, I mean, it was alright. It was fun.
Wait, was it called Good Girl or Bad Girl?
Good girl.
girl.
Good girl.
Good Girl? Okay, I didn't
Yeah.
remember. I didn't watch it. How do you feel about them doing another audition show?
Oh, they need to stop. Too many. God, like, come on. Like, it has been your downfall. Why are you doing more of your downfall? I don't understand.
Yeah. So, in Mnet news, 2 members of the production team of Mnet's Idol School, not iSchool. We'll talk about Island later. Idol School have been put on trial for allegedly manipulating viewer votes on audition programs. They are accused of manipulating the results of paid viewer votes on the audition program Idol School, which aired from July to September back in 2017, and this is probably the reason as to why Fromis 9 is in the dungeon right now.
Manipulating results of paid viewer votes? That is actually, like, fraud. Just want to
Basically
point out,
what happened in
Yep.
Produce, right? Basically what happened there.
because you take their money and you don't do what you said you would, that is called lying. And in case you didn't know, lying is bad, ethically.
This really sucks because Fromis was riding like a wave of momentum before any of this happened, and now they're kind of.
I mean, here's the thing. They're not like completely silent. They're like doing variety. They're like doing dance covers. Like they did like an Ariana Grande thing recently. That was
But
pretty cool.
It's not a comeback though. All right, I'll move on. On July 10th, We Entertainment released a mysterious teaser image with the quote-unquote We Boys, along with the names Jang Dae-hyun, Kim Dong-han, Kim Yo-han, and Kang Seok-hwa. So pretty much, those members are confirmed to be in this group that they're going to have in the future.
Nice.
The image also included the date July 10th, which, wait, actually, July? Why would it include the date July 10th? I don't know.
That's in the past. Is it next year, July 10th?
I don't know. And was followed by the launching of social media accounts using the group name. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce this. We-I. That's how they're going with it.
Just a heads up, it's spelled W-E-I,
Yeah.
which is a popular
Wei-ai.
Chinese way of saying Wei.
But it's we-I-E.
I'm gonna emphasize this once again. Use a space. It's a real character. Use a space. It's way easier.
It's we-I, right? We-I.
Yeah.
I don't
But,
know
like-
what they're... That's confusing to me.
Look, all my Mandarin folks are gonna look at it and they're gonna say wait.
Wait, that's what
They're just
I
gonna say
want to
wait.
say. Wait.
This is what it is.
It looks like way, not we-I.
They're gonna be like, which tone am I supposed to say this in? Which tone? Which first, second, third?
I'm kind of excited for this group. Like, Kim Dong-han is a big name, and Yohan's obviously huge too, right? Mm-hmm. I got a lot of high expectations for this group. But we're now comebacks and releases. Warren, hit us with them.
Comebacks and releases. July 14th on Tuesday, we have Chong Se-un, Crush, and Pink Fantasy. July 15th on Wednesday, we have TOO, Dreamcatcher, and Chung Eun-ji of A-Pink. July 16th on Thursday, we have One the Nine. And July 18th on Saturday, we have Saksuri coming back. In
No,
other
not coming back. Debut.
Formal debut. Yeah.
formal debut. My goodness, 20 years into the game, debuting. Confirmed release news: Yukika on July 20th, Eric Nam on July 30th, Treasure sometime in July. April, late July, Hyoyeon of Girl Generation, and late July, Saturday, and August 3rd.
Inoi.
Inoi on August 6th.
Bro, it's like that self-fulfilling prophecy where we talk about weird names and then all the weird name people come back at the same time.
See, yeah, if I was debuting as Inoi, I would be like, I would cry. I'd be
So-
like, this is the name. Jesus.
Anita, in terms of Treasure, YG uploaded teaser images
Oh,
which said debut
oh.
coming soon, so they've acknowledged that it's gonna happen. But of course, in a YG
Thank
move,
you.
they didn't put a date. So
Why?
yeah.
Oh,
But that's
man.
all the comeback confirmed releases and news. In terms of next week, right? Dreamcatcher for sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sock 3, I feel like we got to, right?
It's
Other
gonna
than
be a
that,
bop.
it's kind of up in the air, so let us know what you want us to cover. Maybe TOO, maybe Pink Fantasy. Because if Pink Fantasy wins, we get to see the person's face, the bunny. So that's the thing. Maybe Crush. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll
But
see what happens.
Island, Anita. It's that time again.
Oh boy.
So spoiler warnings. We're gonna ruin it for you if you haven't watched it.
Episode 3.
So episode 3. We're gonna spoil it.
I haven't watched it, by the way. I need to, but I couldn't.
All right. So first thing they did, right, Warren?
Yeah? What happened?
We knew that they
Don't even.
failed last week, so 6 kids had to go down. Right?
Oh, man.
6 kids.
Yeah. They did.
So they had a vote. They straight up voted to eliminate kids. I think each kid went up and they had to pick 6 kids to go down.
Okay.
So that's how
Okay.
it worked.
Uh-huh.
So the kids who went down: Nikki, the center,
Yeah.
Daniel, Jay, Nicholas, Jake, and Youngbin. And the funny thing is, I believe Daniel got the second highest score, but he still got
He
voted
did.
down.
Yo! They did him bad. Yo. That's
Also,
bad.
I know Nikki didn't do that great, but he's clearly more talented than a lot of the kids who are in Island.
Oh, yeah, if he was center.
Dancing.
So those kids moved down, right? And then they moved a bunch of kids up. All right, I'm looking at this Wikipedia thing. Let me figure out which kids. Oh, so Taeyong, J-Bum, EJ, Yoonwon, Sunu, and Taki all went up. My boy Taki,
They did a little switch.
they did a Japanese switch. You know, they put the come up over here. So they switched, right? Essentially, then I believe that they were told that they're covering BTS's Fire for the next round.
Yeah, like a
Okay.
remix version.
And they had partner work. So at a certain point, one kid had to step on one kid's back, and then another point they had to do like a human trust fall during the song.
Yeah.
Those were the two main like
man.
special moves, and then there was a dance break
Man.
for the good kids, right? Those were the main things they added. This one kid, Taeyong, he just got stepped on the entire episode.
I felt so bad for him. He was a good sport about it, but
So he like literally got stepped on, Warren. Like he was the base of those two parts. So one point,
Yeah.
one guy stepped on him, and then another part, another dude stepped on him
there's
the
like
whole
a little
time.
pyramid formation as well. Yeah.
Wait, if it's a pyramid, aren't there like at least like 3 people on the bottom?
No, both times he was like the first. He was like the step.
The center of the pyramid, basically.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's gotta be the
he
worst.
got stepped on 3 times, right, Anita?
Yeah,
Then they did like
yeah.
where they make their legs wide and people stand on their thighs. That was another. So he got stepped on 3 times.
That's what I was referring to.
Wait, no, I've tried that before. That hurts.
So I felt bad about that. There was some controversies, right? So the main thing that blew up was that kid Nikki, who got demoted into ground, he was a problem again. I just don't like the kid. So
what's wrong?
The main issue was there was a kid, I forgot which kid. Kyungmin. You know how Koreans use the word like my condition isn't great today, right?
오늘 컨디션이 되게 안 좋아가지고.
Yeah. He was a little sick, I think.
So Nikki, since he also got put, so he's in ground now. He was also given, I think, role 2, which means he's really good, right? He was given role 2, I believe. So he's there. He's one of the teachers of the group, and he's trying to teach this one move, right? And he's like, hey, you over there. Why aren't you doing the move right now? You were doing it right before, right? And the kid's like, oh, I was doing well before, but I'm not feeling that well now. I can't do it really correctly right now, but tomorrow, after I rest, I'll probably be able to do it well again, right?
Okay.
Nikki's like,
where this is going.
He's basically like, why aren't you trying? Like,
The guy said he's sick.
This was the argument. The argument was, I'm not feeling that well. I can't really do it. And Nikki's like, why aren't you paying attention and trying? And then the kid was like, I'm hurt, but if you show me how I should do it, I'll probably be able to try a little bit harder and do it. And Nikki's like, I already showed you before. Why can't you just do it right?
Okay, I mean,
that's literally what happened, right, Anita? Like,
well, I wanted to talk about that situation
Nikki
because it was. I felt like I saw how it escalated because at first I didn't think it was going that direction because it felt like Nikki was leading the dance practice, and since he's a very good dancer, it made sense. You know, he was telling them, "Oh, I think you should do this move this way." Like I said, like a little bit more outward with more force, I think was what he said. And Kyungmin was not feeling well, and he was trying to explain it. And then other people also stepped in. I think Daniel and I think
Jay.
No, Jay was out.
Jay was out?
Yeah, was not in the practice room. But Sungcha and Daniel were trying to say like, oh, Kyungmin means like it's not that he doesn't want to do it. He's just not feeling well. Like trying to communicate, right? Because I get there's a language barrier that might be present there as well.
But Nikki's Korean's pretty good.
Yeah. I understand that too. So I feel like not everything was lost in translation, but it did come off as, how should I say it? It came off as if.
Hold up, wait. Nikki's 14.
Yes.
Wait,
yes, he's one of the younger ones, but it came off to me as if the newcomers into ground, right? So previous island members coming into ground were kind of taking control of the situation in a way and pressuring the people originally in ground to do things faster, to do things quicker, better, because they feel like, oh, we're falling behind. I think that was a phrase someone used, like, oh, we're falling behind. We don't have time to not do it if we're not feeling well. And I get it. I feel like they have this pressure since they were boarded off, but it just doesn't sit right to talk about it that way, and the way he kind of left the room. Like,
also, he got straight up pissed and stormed out of the room. And you have to remember, in Korean culture, he's younger than almost everyone else in this room.
It was a little uncomfortable, but I don't know. To me, this situation in particular, and another thing that happened with Hisang, in the island group, where he was basically saying how...
Oh, okay, that was so dumb. Let's talk about this.
I didn't understand how that happened.
Okay, the round two.
Round 2.
Or round 3, whatever, I forgot what it's called. Round 3 on paper. Test 2, round 3. It's called the teamwork round, right?
Okay.
So
Teamwork.
in Island, Hisung, who's he's like the golden child right now of the show, I would say.
He's got his own wiki page.
He's there.
Wow.
And at one point he's like, we don't need to focus on being good together because they're judging us individually.
Boy, this is called teamwork rounds. Please pay attention.
He straight up said that, and I was like, "What the f?
What are you doing?"
I was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, He literally said it like that, right, Anita? He was like, we should focus on our individual performance because we're getting judged individually and it'll raise the average score.
To me, what I found was concerning about the situation was that, okay, it's one thing to think about it, right, and admit it during an interview, right? So after the fact, you say like, oh, this was my mentality. But no, he said this explicitly to other people in the island group. He said it in the interview, and then when they had the evaluation with the producers, which was like the choreographer, Shiko,
P-Dog.
P-Dog. He basically said the same thing, like, oh, I thought it would be better to go about it individually because
it was such a big oof. It was so embarrassing.
I honestly could not understand why he said that. Like, it's a teamwork mission. Why?
Okay, it's like it's. But I'm looking at the list of contestants. Some of these folks, 15. They're like 15, like 14, 16. I get it. Dude, you're 18 years old.
He's one of the older ones, yeah.
The most ridiculous thing is that it's called teamwork round, and he thought, let's not have any teamwork. Let's just do this on an individual level.
If you're maybe if he had a language barrier, like I would be like willing to accept it. But like, you grew up in Korea, you know what teamwork means.
They had to know that someone was gonna come evaluate them at some point in the practice time, and they didn't like. I forgot which group. They didn't even attempt the difficult moves before the producers came.
Both groups did not attempt them. Yeah.
Why? They're difficult and we're scared we're gonna get hurt.
A little dangerous, yeah.
But they're like, it's in the choreography. You have to do it.
Is it like actually like dangerous?
No, it's not bad. It's fine.
It's the thing is I honestly feel it got interpreted to me this way that both teams couldn't attempt those moves that were dangerous or a little bit more difficult because it required more teamwork. Those were the teamwork moves, and because there was no teamwork, they couldn't do it. Yeah. So it honestly made sense why they didn't even attempt them. But in general, to me, from this episode, I just feel like did the teamwork mission succeed? I don't really think so. I feel like there's still a lot to work on.
Here's my fundamental issue with the show, which I sort of mentioned last week, is that each round so far, they're having the kids vote each other down, right?
Yeah.
It was very evident in this episode that some of the kids they sent down to Island are better than the kids who went up to Island. Some of the kids who they sent down to ground is what I meant.
Yeah.
Right? The 6 kids they sent down to ground, some of them are way better than the kids they sent up to Island.
I mean, I guess they just want it to be like a personality deal, I guess.
My problem is they keep having kids vote each other down, which number one, I don't think is great for building a team group, right? But in the beginning of the episode, if you read the subtitled stuff, because I was watching it with my mom and she's like, hey, do you know that at the end the producers are basically just going to pick the group anyway? It said it somewhere. So they're doing all this shuffling and stuff just to put them in uncomfortable situations, I think.
It's very uncomfortable.
It's strictly for the drama.
Yeah. The editing team has so much content.
Eventually, the island performed, and then ground, if for some reason they scored really high and no one in island had to go down, then ground just practiced for nothing, right?
Right.
Oof.
But, of course, kids went down. I think it's only 4 this time are going to go down. So we're going to get 4 ground kids up. And then I think the next episode is they're going to do units, so small groups, and they're going to verse another unit from the ground side, I believe. Which means
it's going to be direct competition.
I like direct head-to-head, and I think the group that wins gets to stay in Island or go up to Island. I'm pretty sure that's how that's going to work.
Oh, shoot.
It's going to be spicy. Overall, though, a lot of needless drama, a little bit spicy, but I'm finding the show very entertaining. Still.
It's entertaining, but at what cost is my only concern. I also...
the cost overall, of their mental health.
Yeah. Honestly, I am worried about their teamwork. I'm worried about how people are going to mesh together at the end of the show.
Also, the performance level. Although individually a lot of the kids are good, the group performances have not been very good.
The teamwork is the teamwork.
Like, they've been like cover dance group level so far.
Oh, wait. One of these kids is like almost 5 years in. Cheon? He wasn't produced. Oh my.
Yep, him.
But like it's very obvious that some kids are really good, right? Like
they have talent. They have
Like, Nikki is the best dancer on the show. That's very obvious to me.
Really?
Yeah, he is. I think for sure.
Damn.
And then obviously, who's the kid who's number one? Heesung's obviously really good. I think Ganu, I really like his voice. I think he's doing well.
Very stable.
There's a lot of kids who you can tell are probably going to make the final team. It's like, it's already a little bit obvious, I think, some of them.
I just worry about the compatibility, like how everybody's gonna get along in the end. And I know we talk a lot about like the system they have going where they're voting people off, but just the concept of an island and the ground and the two separate buildings, I feel like in this episode more than anything, it just demonstrated that there's this like divide that's created for no reason.
And
it makes
classism.
Yes, honestly, yes, because there was this moment in the show where the people who moved up to ground were saying like, oh, I feel like I'm so unqualified in comparison to the people that are in the island already, just because they were 1 week in ground. Like they didn't really spend that much time, but just being labeled as, oh, you were in ground, and like people in the ground, what do you think? Or like that term, and then the clothing, it's very, I don't know, it gives me bad vibes.
It's the Stanford prison experiment.
Exactly.
It's the one experiment with like, what is the one like back in like the 40s?
Stanford,
with the,
yep.
No, that one, and the little kids and the blue eyes and the yellow eyes, that kind of deal. And
wait, what? I don't know about that one.
Stanford prison is when they told people to be guards, told people to be prisoners, and it turned out terrible.
Yeah. No, there's like a whole bunch of experiments like that. There's like one with like little kids and eyes, like eye colors mean like superior race and BS.
Just the perceived like division between like, oh, you're on ground or you're an island, and like what that entails, like a superiority, I guess, of being an island and staying an island. And I don't know, I find it a little uncomfortable. I hope they do something about it in the second part of the show. Maybe they just eliminate that. I don't know.
I look, like, I mean, like if these were full grown adults, I wouldn't be that concerned. But like Nikki over here, my man, 14 years old, you know, like
I honestly, good. Well, another thing is I don't think the group's gonna end up with 12 kids. I think they're gonna eliminate in the second half too, for sure. I think we're gonna end up with like 7 or 6, something like that, at the end of the whole thing.
Did they say how many members?
Nope. All we know is that 12 kids are gonna make it to the second part of the experience.
It's gonna be like.
That's all I've been doing. Anita, have you been doing anything else? Or has this been pretty much it?
Pretty much it.
All right. What about you, Warren? You got the floor.
I'll make it quick. This is not really K-pop related. I usually try to keep Korean rap and hip hop stuff out of the way because it's kind of a maniac culture. You know, it's not mainstream anymore. You kind of keep it out of the way. But there's like one specific mini album that I've been vibing really well with, and I know that a lot of our listeners react positively, like retro sounding stuff, a little vintage, if you will. And this album called Kirin by Baesagong, if you want to spell it, that's Bassagong, again Bassagong. He had an album called Giraffe, if you will. Very vintage sounding. I don't want to say retro. Very vintage sounding. Lots of AOR in here, and like lots of melodic good guitar riffs. And it's really nice to listen to, especially while we're all quarantined. Like, but like, you know, it's all right. We're just chilling here and pull out your guitars. Let's relax for a bit. Grab a little beer, kind of deal. You know.
If you can legally drink.
If you can legally drink, yes. If you're not of age, please don't tell me that you are drinking, because that is illegal, and I will have to do something about it. But you know, just do it on your own. Don't. Here's the thing. I'm back in New York, right? It's my the beginning of my second week back. Lots of people without masks.
Oh no. What?
Why would you do that? You know, like, it's like putting on a condom on your bowl. That's not how that works.
What?
It's like,
what are you saying,
Oh
Warren?
my god. Oh my god. All right, we're leaving that in. You went there.
Yeah, it's educational. It is. It's like, you have to know that it goes on the thing, not the balls. Like, it's like,
Okay,
When
move,
you have-
move the topic. Move the topic.
When you have the mask below your nose, on your chin, like that's essentially a chin guard. Like if it's like not covering your nose, like do you not breathe with your nose? Is that how? Like I don't understand.
No proper wearing of the mask.
Yes, proper wearing of the mask, please. And like if you're pulling it down every now and then to like speak or like to eat your coffee or.
Well, the good thing is though that Manhattan or New York City specifically on the 11th had no deaths from Corona.
Oh, that's good.
New York has been doing really well with the numbers.
We in the tri-state area have been doing very well relative to the rest of the country. If you're in one of the more affected regions right now,
stay safe.
Stay safe. That's like honestly
Wear
all
your
we can
mask.
say. You
Wash your
I think
hands.
logically you know what to do. It's a matter of doing it. We just have to hope that our fellow Americans specifically will do a little bit more because our numbers are still popping off and they seem to be getting worse.
Please just keep it on top of your nose and your mouth. That's what it's supposed to do. If you pull it down, it's like you're not wearing one. It's still uncomfortable. So
And do it for yourself, do it for your family, do it for the fellow members of the SojuTalk Nation and
For
their
everybody.
families as well. All right, I think we covered everything, right, guys?
Yeah.
Warren, you've been playing with that rubber band the whole time.
yeah, I know. I can't get rid of it. It's stuck to my hand now.
Well, that's your thing now, I guess.
Yeah, it's my thing now.
I am
Also
so
have a hat
hyped
on.
for the SOC 3 song. Like, oh, I'm so hyped.
Do you like number 3 or number 4?
I like the one that they recorded this week with the Ihori's husband.
Oh yeah, that one. Okay, I kind of want like a band arrangement of that track, but like it's probably not gonna happen.
Regardless, though, I think a lot of our viewers are gonna be like surprised at how good it is because it's such a good song. But Anita, have you been watching that?
I started. I'm not caught up yet, so
Okay.
I'm trying not to reach any
It's great
spoilers.
TV though. It's great TV.
Yes.
Right? It's so funny. So yeah. But this has been Soju Talk, your weekly shot of K-pop, episode 95. I'm Doug. I'd like to thank Warren and Anita for joining me today. At a certain point in the news, the caffeine hit me really hard, so I couldn't read really well. So I made like tiny mistakes along the way, but it is what it is. I am re-recording it.
Fine.
I also revealed Warren's high school at some point, but that happened.
We're cutting it out.
Warren also taught you how to use sexual protection devices, so that's a thing. But we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye bye.
Special shoutouts to our Fiesta patrons: Based Mina, Goku Mama, Jack, Jacob, Malfiar, NJ Parks, Snap Wilson, Tier. Thank you for joining Social Talk, your weekly shot of K-pop. And special thanks to our Discord server mods: Jacob, K Music Erday, Malfiar, No Bias Nuna, Tuggles, V, and Wolf297.